On another important topic, tomorrow the world will be assembled at the UN headquarters to consider a resolution on the status of the Palestinian state in the United Nations. Many of our allies are working on this resolution to ensure that it serves to restart negotiations between Israelis and Palestinians. In the meantime, Mr. Speaker, what has Canada done The Honourable Minister of Foreign Affairs.
First and foremost, Canada has encouraged both parties to stop negotiating about the negotiating and sit down at the negotiating table and try to work towards establishing a lasting peace. That's exactly what Canada's been doing, working in concert with our allies to make this happen.
The Honourable Member for Ottawa Centre.
Mr. Speaker, we agree that a future Palestinian state will be realized through negotiations with Israel. That's why our allies, including the UK, France, the US, are doing the hard diplomatic work of trying to restart negotiations. We are concerned that the Conservatives have taken an unbalanced approach and decided to issue threats against moderates rather than working with them to find a consensus. How is the government's threatening approach helping to encourage moderates who want to pursue the path of politics rather than the path of violence?
Minister of Foreign Affairs.
You know, Mr. Speaker, we are tremendously disappointed with the Palestinian Authority for the actions that they're taking. It is obvious that this will affect our relationship. This government makes no apologies for standing with the Jewish state. This government makes no apologies for standing with Israel and the UN. I will myself travel to New York tomorrow to be there to speak and to cast Canada's vote. What we encourage is both parties to get back to the negotiating table and to establish a long and lasting peace.
The Honourable Member for Ottawa Centre.
Mr. Speaker, we have the opportunity to advance the cause of peace. Canada has an obligation to help bring the two sides closer to an agreement. A negotiated two-state solution is the best way to ensure Israelis and Palestinians can live side by side in peace and security. Cutting off diplomatic relations with the Palestinian Authority will undermine the cause of peace, and cutting off aid will undermine security. Mr. Speaker, will the government now join our allies in trying to use this vote as an opportunity to restart the negotiations?
The Honourable Minister of Foreign Affairs.
Well, Mr. Speaker, the NDP has once again come back to its roots and shown where they really stand when it comes to Israel. A unilateral action by going to the United Nations violates more than 7 different accords, 7 different resolutions at the United Nations. We believe that these two parties should sit down at the negotiating table and negotiate a lasting peace deal. We're prepared to do anything we can to support that. What we will not support is a unilateral action by the Palestinian Authority at the United Nations. We will stand with the Jewish state. We will stand with the people of Israel.